If you're thinking of purchasing a bubble template, you may want to watch this video first. This video features one of our free 15-minute bubble coaching sessions available to all our members at planetnocode.com. In this session, we work to debug performance issues the member is encountering with a bubble template they've purchased. We weigh up the benefits of using a template and potential performance issues caused by a bloated one-page app. Okay, so you're wanting to display certain groups when you click on elements, yeah?
Correct. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, well, what do you have set up at the moment for that?
So right now we have this repeating group here with this record. And when I go into the workflow, I don't know if it is this one. Let me try the other thing here. Maybe it's this group here. Home, repeating group.
It's probably nested in the top there.
Yeah, I think it is this one. Nope, it's going to be the next level up, probably. Yeah, here, okay. So when I click on a property, I have it set to scroll to the top of the page. Yep. Sets the index to property, and then it actually pulls in. I created this custom state property active, which is the current sales property, and then it animates to show the property information page that I showed you earlier.
Okay.
Now, at the moment, I'm actually just running into some problems with it. It's just not working. So if I go to preview. Mobile. So now when I click on it,
nothing happens?
I think nothing is happening, but it might just be loading very slowly.
Oh yeah.
Just quickly refresh it.
I think you might have two workflow actions off your button click. That might be one of the issues.
Really?
We can check that in a moment. Just something I noticed might be the case from looking at your workflows. But let's see what's meant to happen on the front end.
Yeah, so I'm clicking on it now, and everything else is working. Like these menu items, the components thing will work. But yeah, the actual click on the thing is not working.
Okay, can you go back into the editor, and if on the design builder you select the right group and then click on start edit workflow, just let me watch what happens again when you do that. User properties, click. Okay, and you've got some conditional. The ones to the right of it. Okay. In the front end, can we see what happens in the preview? If you turn on the debugger for Bubble, might just be easiest for you in the editor to click preview, and it will load in the debugger on that page. Yeah.
So just click this, yeah.
Yeah. Which you probably disable because it will be. Oh, why is it not loading in? I saw it load in. Do you have a plugin installed that disables the debugger? Because it might be a bit frustrating with the
check.
With your mobile view, because it's always going to sit at the bottom of the screen. So in order for your mobile navigation to work, you might have disabled it somehow.
Let me see if I come out of the console if it exists. No, I don't know.
Can you try hitting the preview button in the editor again?
Yes.
You'll see that the debugger loads in as a query string. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you click on step by step for me, please, and then let's click on the, or is it still trying to load in the page?
Yeah, at the moment, it's just loading.
Okay, while it's loading, can we see what the one error is? It might be that it's just telling you that there's a lot going on. Okay, no, it's just a dark theme, the text plugin, fine. You can probably ignore that.
And then if I click on this.
Yeah, it might not do anything while it's still loading something right at the start. Can we refresh it? And then, yeah, just click next. Run next. And again.
Just keep going, yeah?
Yeah. Click again. I mean, there's certainly a lot going on when the page loads in. Is all of that present in the template that you purchased, or is it stuff you've added in?
No, I've pretty much only just added design stuff, so I don't think there's a whole lot extra happening there.
So it's set active, okay, because it gets stuck at this point. Well, because what I'm looking for is to see whether there are like any recurring workflows, like run every 5 seconds, which it doesn't seem to be.
Yeah.
Just to try and work out what's making it go so slow. Like you do have a lot of elements on the page. I mean, that's the nature of building a one-page app. You get the benefit of the changing between the pages. You can animate them. It's a lot quicker, but it's a lot to load in to start. Can you click on run? So just see if that clears it. Okay. Can we try reloading the page and just seeing if we can get the bubble loading bar at the top to go all the way across?
Yeah, let's see if I'm just gonna wait for it to hit then and see if that changes anything.
Okay.
Let's just stop there. All right, one more time.
Yeah, that is quite peculiar because having watched the workflows go through that, they're to do with the like the splash screen, but that's all cleared.
Yeah, it seems to be something that's slowing down. I don't want to rule out my internet speed seems to be pretty good, so it can't be that. I'm just trying to rule out a variable.
I think it's something that's probably come along with the template that is just really slowing things down. Can we have a look? If you go into the bubble editor and then settings, sorry, logs is what I meant. Just interested to see. Okay, real-time workflow metrics available pay plans. Oh, okay. Okay, it looks like it's loaded. Actually, oh no, sorry.
We can dream.
In my experience, the creep of the loading bar, if it's really slow like this, it can mean that it's detached from what's actually going on. Like it doesn't. I think maybe Bubbles coded it so that it continues to move even if nothing's happening. If it's moving so slowly, I doubt that it's going to complete itself.
Okay. Yeah, but all the actual other elements that should still work are not working at the moment. Because normally this stuff is working fine, these plugins.
So actually, can we try something? If you change in the URL the debugger mode to false, I have a feeling that it's struggling to run the debugger because that's like a CPU intensive, server intensive.
Yeah, there you go. And then this all works.
So yeah, I'd say that that's because there's a lot going on when the page loads. Because I think the debugger is quite a critical tool. It would really help in this situation. But if it can't load both, I think there's just a lot going on.
Would your advice be to purge or try to purge things from here that I just will never use, just to try and bring things more streamlined? Like there's probably, like I've kind of left all these views as they are just because I never knew if I would need them or not, if I want to reference them, but I could probably look through these and get rid of a good number of them that I'm just probably never gonna go for.
Just out of interest, can you click on one of the views that you've not used, and we'll just see if it's loading in with the page. And then if you click on layout in the inspector panel, the big gray panel on the right hand side. Okay, no, it isn't loaded on the page load.
Is it worth taking a look at the console and seeing something here?
Yeah, although I'd say the place to look is the debugger console.
Yeah, we can't load it in, right?
No.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's look here.
I think there's a chance that I think that it's a slim chance the performance issue is with your browser, although you can't really max out the RAM in Chrome quite easily with Bubble. I think that it is a Bubble, it's their end of things, with just the amount of like computing power that it's required to just open it on the spot. Okay, if you want my opinion, if I was in your shoes, I would take what you like about this template, and if what you're trying to do is a lot simpler, start from scratch in the new Bubble app. And just build if this template gives you enough of a Bubble education to understand how to get the navigation in with floating groups, custom states for transitioning between pages, I'd be tempted to build a less bloated version of it.
Right. And if I go down that road, how simple is it to kind of copy and paste elements and workflows from one app into the new one?
So, excuse me. If you go into the Bubble editor, I'll show you the different ways you can do that. So your regular keyboard copy and paste or browser copy and paste, that works fine with elements. But if you want to copy workflows, then you have to use the Bubble edit menu, having selected an element.
Bubble edit from here.
Right. Yeah, I was going to show. I was thinking of a different way. So if you like go onto the design panel and show me a button or something that's clickable.
Yeah. So let's say I wanted to do the home, and I wanted to bring across maybe this thing here.
Yeah. So you've got a copy with workflows menu. And then in the new app, you can do a paste with workflows. But you might find that doesn't really save you that much time because you're running, you have different databases, different custom states. Personally, if I was in your shoes, I would see it as an opportunity to build something from scratch that's just what I need, rather than something that's bloated. But also, by building it myself, I know how everything works. So I've got a better hand on being able to like develop it and push it further in the future.
Yes, yes.
But
Okay.
I would take the principles of this app, the floating groups of navigation. You seem to have got a good understanding of custom states. That's all going to be really helpful in building your own one-page app.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think that's good advice. Yeah, I think that you raise a couple of good points there, which is that longer term, whilst it might be slower to build the first version, it's gonna, I guess, set me up for a much better understanding of how everything is tying together for future development. So yeah, I think it's a wise point.
Yeah. And how confident are you with like UI design and just kind of making a page look good?
Reasonably confident. It's a little bit easier than it used to be in Bubble. I remember I tried to use it a while ago, and it was a lot hard to get everything lined up. But this template has a lot of like good formatting things, like how to get it to be like in the dark mode and stuff like this.
Yeah.
So it's good to go back and have this template here as a reference to see how they've set it up, and then I can just try and copy it across.
Okay. Because again, if I was in your shoes, I would be looking. I'd say I am someone who knows if something looks good, but can't start from a blank canvas themselves.
Yeah.
So I'll use sites like UI8.net or ThemeForest, and you can buy a template or a UI kit off there, open it in Figma, and build it up in Bubble. That's my workflow.
Okay. And the name of that was Icon.
The really good one is UI8.net.
UI8.
For like between $20 and $50, there's some really nice web app and like mobile app UI kits on there.
Ah, that's really good. And would I run into a similar? Oh, I guess I would not run into a similar issue with having a lot of bloated stuff in there because they're just purely elements.
It's most of them are in Figma, which if you're not familiar with it, it's basically like a Photoshop but for UI design. So you're not importing their file into Bubble. You are using their file as a reference for these are my font sizes, typography, padding, all of that.
Right. Okay. And then you just translate that across into Bubble.
Yes, and again, my personal preference is to build it manually because then I know what's going on.
Right. Okay. So there's no importing of those elements into Bubble from Figma. It's purely just copying it step by step and looking at how they've done it.
Well, there is an automated process, but then you are likely to end up with a lot of the bloat. So like the Figma design may have many more nested groups than you actually require to achieve the same design in Bubble.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, that makes a lot of sense.
Cool. I've got some videos on those topics, so I can send those across to you in an email if you're curious.
Yeah, that's absolutely perfect. Yeah, because I think that I think I'm definitely going to take your advice, which is to strip a lot of this stuff out by starting again. And yeah, if I can get a jump start with some good elements that I don't need to have to start from scratch with, because I think I have the similar thing as you, which is I know when it looks good and I know when it feels right, but blank canvas is scary. So I will for sure follow this.
And just I think we've got one final thing to add to that is you're right. A one-page app does offer the best experience on mobile because it performs much more closely to an actual app rather than a web app. But it's even more important for it to be lean because you're having to load in all your screens at one time. So I think you will get further by building it from scratch. and just having what you need.
Okay, and I'm guessing from what you're saying there, things like on the appearance channel, I think a lot of them, they have like load up on screen load. I'm saying load too many times in a sentence.
Like a splash
there
screen.
is, yeah, but like sorry, on the layout, yeah, it's like most of them are like visible on page load. I guess this feature here becomes very important to basically have nothing loading that isn't essential at that moment.
Not quite. You can approach that in its like cascading nested nature. So as long as the like top parent isn't visible on page load, you don't need to uncheck that for all of its children. You could just do it on the top level.
So as long as in this like very top level, as long as this is not loading on page load, then all its children will be fine.
Yes, yeah, you'd be creating far too much work for yourself to check the children unless you needed the parents to load in without the children.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then this will really help to resolve a lot of that bloatedness as well for loading stuff that is not necessary.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Cool. Well, I think that's our time. Yeah, sorry it's not been such a promising session, but I'll send you some pointers in an email. Just what I would do if I was in your shoes.
Yeah, no, man. I mean, whilst it wasn't the exact topic that we originally wanted to discuss, I think you've given me some really wise insights into how I should approach it. So I appreciate that nonetheless. I think it's just as valuable, actually.